Hello friends, in the series which we are doing on understanding popular culture, today we will talk about the impact of social media. As all of us are aware that how social media is creating a lot of impact in the lives of the people, and how people they are connected to the social media in various ways. The various platforms of the social media, they are not only providing a lot of information to the masses, but at the same time we also find that many a times this kind of information is also not very correct. How social media is also in a way trying to connect people, various platforms of WhatsApp, LinkedIn, etc. They are trying to connect people, and people are also devoting a lot of time to such kind of media. And at the same time we also find that because of this, many a times some kind of problems they are also emerging in the lives of the people. If we say that technology in the framework of social media has played a positive role in the lives of the people, then we also have to realize that many a times this usage of technology and maybe too much usage of the technology has led to complications in the lives of the people. In the context of the bibliography or references, one can refer to Francis Delomba, Pros and Cons of Social Media, Infinity Search, Essay on Social Media, Effects, Importance, Advantages, Disadvantages. Then thirdly, How the World Changed Social Media, Daniel Miller, Elizabeth Acosta, Nell Haynes, Tom MacDonald, Zwan Nicolaou, Joanna Senanen, Giuliano Spiner, Sriram Venkatraman, and Xinyuan Wang. So these are some of the readings which one can refer, and there are so many others as well apart from them when one is talking about the impact of social media. According to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, social media refers to the forms of electronic communication such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users they create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages and other contents like video. So in this way it is a popular media which has brought a great change in terms of sending and receiving messages. And how social media has transformed the prevailing tide of mass communication, that is from few to numerous communication, and now it has become from numerous to numerous communication process where anyone who has a social media account can communicate to the world. So the kind of reach which the social media has, which is a worldwide reach, as most of the communication is through mobile or the smartphone which is available to people all the time. And it is considered to be the most egalitarian media which anyone can communicate to in the world, and instantaneous response is likely on social networking sites. But at the same time one has to realize that this kind of a communication, specialists see the deficiency of the gatekeeping as a problem which challenges the reliability of the social media. Social networking sites such as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc., or maybe Blogger and WordPress and social media applications such as WhatsApp, they are the examples of the social networking sites or media. We also find that the scholars, those who have studied regarding the social media, they try to see social media in a framework of the powerful revolution and how it has changed our lives all around, and it has also changed the way we socialize with others, the way we conduct business, engage in political affairs, build our professions and set job recruitments, as has been argued by Susan Sorrell. And when we talk about social media, we also see that various kinds of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., and on these channels how people they socialize with each other. And because of this kind of a socialization, we find that this kind of a socialization, which is largely not face to face, it is more of an online kind of a socialization. It has greatly revolutionized our socialization process and apparatus. We also have seen in times that it is very easy to connect to our family members, friends and relatives on a real-time basis, but when we see that how social media it has arrived and how people they are sharing their pictures and videos and how they are trying to communicate with their near and dear ones. So this has in a way strengthened the relationships and also bringing the families together in a way that was not possible in the past. So the traditional way the people they connected to each other, and now the way they try to connect, and the people those who are especially living in maybe different cities or countries, how they connect to each other, whether they are relatives or they are family members. So it has in a way brought them together to an extent. And we also see that how social media has also been used in a way in terms of doing business, how opportunities in terms of sharing the skills or improving the different kinds of proficiencies, that has also been done. And how people they are also able to connect with new friends, etc. So that has also been taken care of. And as we are talking about the role of social media in terms of developing the business, then we find that from marketing to interacting with the customers or consumers, that has also been taken up by the social media. And how the online platforms, they are seen to be less expensive way of doing business, or to advertise the products on the real-time basis, thereby attracting more customers. So this kind of an easy access to customers gives businesses some kind of leverage to retain customers as well as to attract more customers. And when social media is being used in terms of increasing the businesses or to create some kind of a market online, and we also see that some kind of a greater profit margins they also emerge, and which is good for all sorts of businesses. So through the interaction and the feedback by the business to their customers, they can understand the market quickly and also adapt the new strategies as well as conform to the dynamic customers' taste as well as the demands. We also find that how companies they see the importance of using the social media to connect with their customers and build revenue, and they use the social media to generate some kind of insights, stimulate the demand and create targeted product offerings. So in that sense, social networks and the social media within the workplace, they can strengthen the knowledge sharing as well. And at the same time, the main argument is in the framework of is to improve the project management activities and to enable a spread of specialized knowledge. So in this way, if we are able to fully implement the social technologies at the workplace, then it will remove the boundaries, and at the same time it will eliminate the silos, and it can raise the interaction and help create more highly skilled and knowledgeable workers. So all these sorts of developments they might take place, and they are taking place when social networks etc. they are being implemented at the workplace, and various studies they have been conducted in this regard, that how they help in such kind of developments in the business sector. But at the same time, some of the cons or some of the negative aspects which one can see is that a low number of social shares they can lead to negative social proof and destroy the business credibility. Interestingly, although social sharing has become norm rather than exception in business, and many a times we find that if less sharing is there on the social media, or some kind of a negative social proof is being in a way generated because of the less shares, and it might in a way in the long run destroy the credibility of the business. And many times we also find that the people they also provide some kind of a feedback on the social media as well, and when they are providing such kinds of feedback, many a times they try to target certain companies with certain kinds of bad intentions, and they may in a way provide some kind of a wrong feedback as well. We also see that how social media has had a profound effect on the recruitment as well as hiring as well, and the professional social networks such as LinkedIn, they are considered to be an important social media platforms for anyone who is looking to stand out in their profession. They allow people to create a market and a personal brand as well. So in this way, social media definitely is playing an important role and it is also trying to create some kind of an impact on the training and development as well, because we find that how the job candidates they develop skills in the latest manner, and the most advanced social media techniques are far more employable that way. And that is how the blogs, wikis, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, podcasts, they are now common tools for learning in many educational institutions. And especially during the times of the pandemic, one can also see that how online learning and teaching became some sort of a norm, that how students they were being sent messages on WhatsApp, various groups of the classrooms they were being formed on the WhatsApp, and online classes they were being held for the schools as well as colleges during the times of the COVID-19 pandemic, so that this teaching learning process does not stop, and the valuable years of teaching of the students they may not also be lost. And so these kinds of tasks they were also being performed by the social media during the times of crisis. We also see that despite the issues of the lack of privacy and some instances of cheating among the long distance learners, this has not deterred the social platform from being used in education. So many a times we find that some kind of cheating has taken place, or in the classroom some antisocial elements they have also entered through some kind of maybe cracking of the password, etc. But even then the meetings and the classes and other forms of communication on the online platform through the social media platforms did not stop, and in a way many a times we find that they were also formalized to some extent as well. And as you can see, this lecture as well, the way it has been broadcast on television, and then you can see this lecture on YouTube, it is readily available to you. So similarly many professors they are conducting the live video chats on Skype, Twitter and other places for their lectures, and this makes it easy for the students and the teachers to learn and share while just sitting in their homes. So this these kinds of live lectures and recording them, and then in a way sharing them on other channels which will in a way benefit the students in the long run, has also been an important concern in today's times, and in that also social media is definitely playing its role. We also find that how we use the social media at any time of the day, and teachers they can also provide some kind of an off-hour support and solve the queries of the students even after the class timings. So will this kind of a help teacher understand their students development more closely as well. So we find that such kind of teaching or such kind of delivering of lectures has definitely helped the students, and many a times we find that even after their regular duty hours, teachers they are engaged with their students, and many a times they are engaged in solving their queries or in a way helping them after the class so as to build their competence and learning at different levels. So it in a way also reflects on this kind of a learning through the social media channels as well, and how the teachers they also understand the students' development in this context in a more close manner can also be realized in that sense. And we also find that how many educators they feel that the social media makes work comparatively easier for the students, and it also helps the teacher expand and explore their own possibilities, skills and knowledge. As we are aware that learning and teaching they are a two-way process, and when teachers they are teaching they are also learning as well. So learning does not stop for the teachers, and that way when this kind of a teaching learning process is going on, then many a times we find that the people those who are in this sector they feel that they can in a way explore their own ideas, they can explore their own skills and the knowledge, as well as the various kind of possibilities which are lying in terms of improving themselves. So this way it is also very helpful to the educators as well. And we find that the way classes they are being conducted on the social media platforms, they are in a way more disciplined and they are structured, as we know that everyone is watching them. So the lectures are comparatively more structured in nature, and the classroom is also more disciplined, because all these things are not only watched but at the same time they are also being recorded as well. So this kind of a discipline is being instilled in such kind of classrooms which are on the social media channels, etc. We also find that how students they are also able to nourish their knowledge with the various teaching aids which are available online, and how students they engage themselves in terms of watching the videos or images, how they check out the reviews or they clear their doubts while watching the live programs. And students and teachers they also make their lectures more interesting using these kinds of tools and the teaching aids. So that way how the students and the teachers they in a way communicate with each other, how they are able to interact with each other, and how this teaching learning process can be made more interesting. So all these kinds of tools they are also being used not only in terms of technology but in other ways as well. And how students they enhance their knowledge by reading the blogs or the articles or the write-ups by the renowned teachers, professors and the thinkers. So this way the availability of the good content can reach a wider audience, and these kinds of write-ups or blogs which are available, they provide an opportunity to the students to increase their knowledge base. And when they are reading the supplementary articles or some kind of write-ups by the teachers and the professors and the thinkers, so that way they are also in a way able to expand their own capacity, and they also they can definitely increase their knowledge base as well. So we find that a number of researches they have concluded that a strong relationship between heavy use of the social media platforms with an increase in the risk of depression, self-harm, anxiety and loneliness can be seen. And many a times there is also a fear of missing out, FOMO. So we find that in this context the impact of the social media, as we can see that social media is all around us and all of us are in a way engulfed or absorbed in the social media, and especially the younger generation which is more closely hooked to the mobile phones, in which you find all sorts of social media channels as well. So many times we see that the various researches which have been conducted at different points of time, they realize that how when you are too much into the social media platforms, many times you may feel cut off with the real world. And when you are not in the real world, then it may increase the risk of depression among the people, those who are too much connected with the social media, and they may sometimes lead to self-harm or some kind of an anxiety and loneliness. And when they are not connected to the social media platforms at that point of time, they have this kind of a fear that as if they are missing out on something very important and urgent. And many times it happens that they may also realize later that when they were not connected with the social media for some time, maybe 1 or 2 days or maybe 3 days, then also they did not miss out on something very great. And it happens also that in some regions you do not have good connectivity of the social media platforms, and because of which you are totally cut off from the social media platforms, internet, etc. The internet availability is not there, and when one comes out during that period, one not only enjoys the company with which the person has gone there, but at the same time when one comes out of that period, then one realizes that it was a very refreshing kind of a period where the person was not connected to all these gadgets, which are not only very time consuming, but at the same time they are also taking a heavy toll on the health as well. We also find that how people, they in a way get addicted in terms of social media, the way they try to check and cross check their mobile phones time and again, that what other people are doing, what the kind of messages are, and the alert system in the messages, when it is on, then it is providing you the real time development in the framework of what all is happening on the social media platforms, and you are also receiving messages in that context. So from that perspective also one can see or find that how this kind of an addiction is taking some kind of a toll on the lives of the people. And when one feels that one is feeling in a way left out in some way, so it is also an exacerbated feeling that other people are living some kind of a better lives, or they are having more fun compared with you or with oneself. So this feeling makes one check one's notification every second just to make oneself feel better. So we find that this kind of a situation where one is trying to in a way connect with others, or in a way trying to find out the way people are living, and many a times we see that the posting of the photographs on the social media channels by the people, as if their lives are in a way a fairy tale, and their vacations, etc., the photographs for which have been put, in a way makes envious, that how other people feel envious towards them, and they may feel in some way that they have been left out, and how others are having comparatively more fun than them. So this kind of a feeling may also lead to some kind of a depression as well. So we will continue with regard to the impact of the social media in our next lecture. Thank you very much.